Hello and welcome to the Kaiju is in the Detail, the chronological examination of the Kaiju film. I'm Ian,
I'm Haru.
and this time we watched Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. What'd you think of this film, Haru?
I actually liked it. It was a fun one.
Yeah, it's a fun one. We love big women here, but also it's just kind of I would say, as opposed to a lot of other American sci-fi films of this era, this one is kind of playing on interesting themes
Mm-hmm.
and also is genuinely funny, like purposefully genuinely funny.
Yeah, the vast majority of the movie is centered around the like second marriage of Harry and Nancy,
Mm-hmm.
and it delves into the complexities and the some of the problems with marriage culture, and especially in the 1950s, where it's sure, you can divorce, but you know
Yeah,
it's not something that you'll be that divorce in the 50s. It was you know kind of a social, what's the word I'm looking for,
pressure.
frowned upon. Yeah, social pressure, yeah,
Yeah,
to this is the person that you have dedicated your life to. We don't care if you hate each other. Like,
yeah. Like
you gotta stick it out.
Nancy leaves Harry because he's a scumbag, um, and then she has like a mental break over it, and her psychiatrist, who does seem to genuinely care quite a lot about her, recommends her to get back with Harry because he doesn't see the scumbaggery. All
Hmm.
he sees is a marriage that is broken, this union that is broken, and then the damage that has been caused to Nancy. He doesn't see where the damage is actually coming from.
Yeah.
He just assumes it's this broken marriage, and so that's what he recommends.
Yeah. And like the movie also, it really plays in, leans into the gender roles of when Nancy is incapacitated, they're like, okay, so the husband needs to, make the decisions for what, if we do the surgery for her. And when she's having her, like, when she first sees the giant, uh at the start of the movie, and no one believes her.
Mm-hmm.
A degree of that is she has a history of having mental episodes, but I think there's also a degree of probably no one believes her because of like just because she's a woman in hysterics. And in the 50s, the diagnosis for a woman who is presumed to be crazy is like, okay, cool, we'll hold you against your will in a mental facility, which
Mm-hmm.
is what happened to Nancy.
Yep. Yeah, she's already been through that, and she's become like a alcoholic because of it,
Hmm.
which doesn't help anything as far as getting that help that she needs, or being believed. So when she sees this UFO, although they keep calling it a satellite, which I find interesting,
Yeah.
it feels to me, because like there's definitely things that called things UFOs in this era too.
Hmm.
So now it seems to me like, you know how like a lot of zombie movies don't like to use the word zombie.
Yeah, they're like the walkers, or the undead, or yeah.
So they're like, we're a serious alien movie. It's not a UFO, it's a satellite. Even though satellites can't come down out of orbit, that's what satellite means. It means it stays in orbit.
Yeah.
They can come down out of orbit, but they don't survive it.
By definition, this thing is not a satellite.
Although it is like designed off of like Sputnik.
Hmm.
So it is that round shape. It's just a round object that flies around, and it also
Yeah.
contains a 30-foot man. It's interesting though that
Yeah.
he's a 30-foot man, and the exposure to whatever radiation is in there makes Nancy into a 50-foot woman. Does it just like affect her differently? Makes her a bigger person.
I don't know. They're seem like yeah, I genuinely don't know.
And
I
in the
like
poster, she's double that size,
yeah, true.
as established by this extremely bizarre thing we watched.
Although she like when she's like standing next to the bar, she's like half that size.
Yeah, she's like the size of the bar, which maybe
Yeah.
she is just at the same height as the space alien man wearing like some discount gladiator uniform from another
Yeah,
movie.
I kind of wondered what that deal like. There seems to be some lore behind this guy. Like, why does he seem to be wearing what seems like it's supposed to be like some sort of stereotypical like Roman soldier gear or whatever?
Like I assume it must be a reused costume.
Yeah, but like, where the hell did this guy come from? Like,
No
what?
idea. He kind of just comes and goes. I think it's really interesting that they don't explain that. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, like they end the movie without doing anything
Like
about
that,
him.
he
It's
just
like
comes, steals a diamond, leaves Nancy naked on top of the pool house, and then leaves.
and he destroys a car.
Yeah, he destroys a car. He leaves when the people come on his ship and then like investigate, and then he kind of scares them off, destroys their car as a show of force, I guess, and then leaves.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't seem intent on killing them. Otherwise, he would have kept going or something.
Yeah, if anything, he just seemed very annoyed during that scene.
Yeah, he was. he, he didn't really seem very angry until they threw the grenade at him,
Yeah.
and the grenade like seemed to impact him a little bit, only a little bit though. Uh, yeah, it's like so. This is one of the weird things. We have a few other movies like this where it's the kaiju is a person that has gotten large, but when you have kaiju who is person who is large, it is a little strange. Like that's a person. They just have like person thinking, right?
Yeah.
Although it seems like the thinking is kind of less there. Although like you know maybe Harry did deserve all that happening to him, considering everything.
I mean, he
He
was a jerk.
he's an asshole. He abandoned her to be abducted by the giant man. Although there's not much he could have done about it. Um, and then just like was dancing with the woman the entire time that she was bigified.
And
Another
he
woman.
went along with his girlfriend's like every single plan she had for murdering his wife.
Yeah, although she didn't really know any about any of those. I don't think she ever found out about any of those. But you know,
Yeah.
karmic for sure.
But still, like, this dude is a fucking asshole.
Yeah, yeah. And so is Honey. It's weird. I can't tell if this movie is like well, I guess it's like complicated 1950s feminism. Um
Yeah.
I was like I can't tell if this movie is like kind of pro woman or kind of sexist. It's like a little bit of both.
Yeah, it's both, honestly. Like the instant that you meet Honey, you like basically the first conversation you hear of her, like I instantly hated her. Like, oh god, I'm not gonna like this character at all. But then like Nancy was a very complex and pretty well developed individual,
Yeah, with
and
a very tragic story.
yeah.
And you really come to understand her and really come to hate Harry.
Yeah.
Like Harry may well be worse than Honey in a lot of ways.
Yeah. You know, like, I think the most thematic scene in the entire movie for, like, what their relationship is like was when he was putting Nancy to bed after her, like, first crazy night of seeing the giant, and she's like she says something along the lines of, like, "Don't leave me, Harry," or, like, "Stay with me," or something like that, and he just walks out of the fucking room with
Yeah.
her diamond.
Yep. He does bring it back at least, for it to be stolen
Yeah,
by the giant alien. It is funny that
but
it's
yeah.
aliens that the big thing of this one.
Yeah, it
I
is,
was
it's
not
kinda
expecting aliens.
weird, and, like, it's also never explained why all those diamonds are in the ship, like, it's theorized that they're used to, like, power it somehow, but, like, it's
Yeah.
never actually
Yeah, we
explicitly,
never
like
really explain why the diamonds were necessary. Why he needed that diamond. And also like why all of his diamonds are jewelry cut. I don't know.
Yeah,
Diamonds don't naturally come that way, right? Like that's a jewelry cut.
uh-huh,
So I don't know.
yeah,
But yeah, it's just like it's a complex film, and just like most good kaiju films, it is primarily about something other than the kaiju.
yeah.
It's about
I mean, the
this,
kaiju is barely in the movie for, like,
yeah,
a few minutes.
yeah. Like the climax is when Nancy is on the rampage. The most kaiju we get is honestly from the other alien, like just the alien.
Mhm.
So you know, it's really focused on the relationship between Harry and Nancy.
Yeah. Also, yet again, we have the explanation for why nature isn't acting like nature is supposed to is because of radiation. It's very vaguely explained. It doesn't actually like they don't actually come up with some weird pseudoscience. It's just radiation made her big.
Yep, very large. They
But
don't
in a
really
way,
explain
like
anything here. Like nothing is really explained, and I think that's fine.
yeah, honestly, like, yeah, I was just about to say, like, the lack of in-depth explanation and, like, going into detail of, like, where did this spaceship come from? What are the diamonds for? Where did the giant guy come from? Like, they don't need to explain any of that stuff because, like, that's not exactly the point of the movie.
Yeah,
The point of the movie is a tragic fallout between a horrible husband and his tragic wife.
yeah. It's it's definitely not really focused on that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Mhm.
Our main actors this time round are Allison Hayes as Nancy. Uh would you know her from anything? Hard to say. I don't really recognize any of these things. I will say this is in an American Artist Pictures, or Allied Artist, I mean. And Allied Artists were like really low budget production studio. Um so I'll say one thing on the Wikipedia page. Not many of like none of the links here are purple. We've not seen any of these people before. William Hudson plays Harry. His Wikipedia picture is from Attack of the 50-Foot Woman, so that tells you that's probably his most notable role. Um, oh, he was in Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, the
Oh,
TV series.
okay.
Yeah, I don't really see anything there. Yvette Vickers was Honey, a pinup model. That makes sense.
Mhm.
And had a few. Oh, I thought I recognized her. So she's actually in Attack of the Giant Leeches. Um,
Oh.
yeah. Did we watch that one? Were you the one who watched with that one with me on stream?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. That's not one we'll get to on this show because the giant leeches are like the size of a human. That's what they mean by
Mhm.
giant. Um, but that's a classic. That's a classic one right there.
Right in line with, like, Attack of the Killer
Yeah.
Shrews.
George Douglas is the sheriff, and there's like nothing here either. Uncredited in A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court. Cool. Okay, well, there's one person I want to see. Frank Chase, Deputy Charlie. Did he do anything? Not a lot. He was in Bonanza. Just like one episode of Bonanza. No, he was not in a lot, but I think in this film he kind of steals the show every time he's around. I
Oh
love
yeah, he's such a fun character.
I love comedy relief deputy. He's so good. Unlike a lot of the times where we have this like dedicated comedy relief character, this one's actually funny.
Yeah,
I like him a lot.
he's he's a fun guy.
He is. He's got a lot of fun like little things he does. Um at one point he dances with the cheater woman, the one the honey.
hmm
And he's like doing a big goofy dance. He just does he does a lot of like, whoa, I'm the dumb guy, who like little things.
hmm
Um, one of my favorites is when he's playing cards with Harry.
Yeah,
Like he's got Harry in for questioning, and he's just like playing cards with him to spend the time. And he's like, dang, I lost. He was like, oh,
yeah,
okay, I've calculated everything. If I play this card, you're not going to be able to use it. And he's like, Harry's like, okay, I pick up that card. That's my hand. I win. And then he's like, I don't want to play cards with you anymore. And yeah, when Nancy attacks, Harry tells him to shoot her, and then he's like, I can't shoot a lady.
yeah.
He also like loses his glasses, but they're on his head. This is a classic.
hmm
Love to see
The
it.
scene when the scene when like the sheriff and the butler were gonna go out into the desert to search for the giant man and the UFO,
Hmm.
like Charlie was so excited. Like he almost ran over the sheriff with the car.
Yeah, he was excited because he didn't have to go out there.
Yeah.
Because he was like, oh god, that sounds scary. And then they're like, you're gonna hold out the fort while I'm gone. And he's like, yes, sir. Sure, wish I could go with you. And then he gets in his car and almost runs them the fuck over.
Yeah.
And that was for real. He almost did that for real.
Yeah.
If they had been off their marks a little bit, he might have run over their toes. It's very good. I like him a lot.
He also has his serious moments too. Like, so this guy, he takes bribes very
Hmm.
easily. Like Harry just
Harry
is
bribes
constantly
him multiple
like,
times.
yeah, he's just like, you didn't see me here. Don't tell my wife you saw me here. And like, and Charlie's just like,
Oh boy,
you
thanks,
got it,
Mr. Harry.
boss. Yeah. But like when all the evidence seems to be pointing at Harry having taken his wife out into the desert and murdering her, uh, Charlie takes that very seriously. He's like, "No, you cannot bribe your way out of this one. I gotta take it to the station."
And part of that might just be that the sheriff specifically asked to bring him there.
Yeah, but like honestly, like I do take it into Charlie's character that he probably did genuinely like when it's at this point where like he seems to be more on Harry's side than he is on Nancy's side, but like he still like interacts with this couple a lot, and so like if it turns out that his buddy Harry actually like murdered his wife, it's like that's
Mhm.
serious.
Yeah. But he also, is not uh too dissimilar from Harry in a way because he also has a girl that he likes to dance with honey. on. He likes to cheat with honey on.
Yeah.
She tells him to stay away from that Tony's hotel. Tony's hotel is where all the cheating in town happens, which is crazy because there's only like 7 people in the town. That's
Yeah.
not true. There's a crowd outside, so it's probably got to be like 20 at least.
There's 7 buildings in town.
Yeah, yeah. And one of them is Tony's, where you can get your spaghetti and your alcohol. Tony. I love when they're in Tony's and the 50-foot woman is messing with the lights or messing with the electricity to the town.
Mhm.
And Harry's like, "Hey Tony, something's happening to your lights." And then Tony's like, "I got eyes, I can see."
Yeah.
What the fuck you want me to do about it? uh, let's talk about effects. I think it's time to talk about
Mhm.
effects because that's what we're here for. Is the effects? It's a tokusatsu movie, kinda.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's because the tokusatsu is specifically the way we've discussed this before. The way the director
Yeah.
duties are split between the special effects director and the director. But in this movie, we do have some effect shots. A real mixed bag.
They're honestly like so first off with the giant hands,
Mm-hmm.
um what were those made out of? Because it came across to me as paper mache.
Yeah, I don't know. This time Wikipedia is not helping. It does not have any info on this. They looked. So the thing about it is that part of it might be paper mache, but there's some sort of rubber to them because the fingers wobble a lot.
Yeah.
Like every single time they move significantly, the fingers go. Brrr. They look, I hate to say it, they look like giant dildos, just the way they go. Brrr.
Yeah. So yeah, like the moments with the giant hands were honestly, I wasn't a huge fan of the giant hands. They didn't look that good to me. The screening effects of like trying to make a regular human person look like a giant.
In a small, like in a smaller world, you know.
Yeah. Those were very hit or miss. Like, there were a couple times where it was believable, but most of the time, it's like they just took the opacity and, like, turned it way down for some reason.
Yeah, so
Uh,
whatever the stuff that they were using to make the screening technique work really did a number on the footage they wanted to keep and made it really transparent.
yeah.
Uh, so you have these like so basically every person who's supposed to look giant looks like they're also a ghost.
Yeah.
Woo! It's like Scooby Doo. Like it's the giant ghost. It can't just be like a ghost. It's got to be the giant ghost or the
Yeah.
in Scooby Doo they do the alien ghost.
Mhm. Yeah, also in the scenes where they use the screening effects, this is mostly true for the scenes with Nancy. Like the movie doesn't seem super consistent with the scale of how big she is. Like we've already mentioned how like the poster is like she's twice as big as the movie title says, and when she's standing next to Tony's, she's like half as big, but
Hmm.
like and then when she's like out walking in the desert or like leaving her house, like she seems way bigger than she is next to Tony's. And that might just be a perspective thing. Like maybe they could have done the perspective a little bit better to like
Maybe.
make her size consistent. But yeah, they didn't put a whole lot of effort into maintaining that consistency.
Yeah. It definitely feels like something that was not thought about too hard. Like the goal was to make something that was big rather than to fit a specific scale.
Yeah.
Which is not a huge problem. Um like The Godzilla films tend, like the AG Tsuburaya films, I should say, tend to be very specific with their scale. Although obviously with Mysterians, the flamethrower was of a wrong scale, I would say. But
Yeah.
they're trying, like for the most part, they really try to make sure the scale is the way they want it to. But I don't think it's actually a huge deal. That the scale is a little wonky in this film because you're not actually going to notice it all that much.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something you gotta like. You let it wash over you as you watch like what's because like we talk a lot about the way like fakey looking effects like shouldn't be ruining the movie for you even if they
Mm-hmm.
like sometimes I like good effects, right? I don't want all effects to be bad effects, but sometimes bad effects can just do the job and get the job done
Yeah.
on a budget. um and I think the same thing can be said for not getting the scale 100% correct.
Mm-hmm.
It means you don't have
Yeah.
to waste the time doing it.
Yeah, I mean, it does get the point across that this lady's big.
Yeah. Yep. She is big, though, is the thing about her. She is big.
All I want to do is see you turn into a giant woman.
I knew it was going to have to happen. So apparently they were just this movie actually made a decent amount of money. It had a budget of around $88,000. The box office was 480,000. So they made like 400,000 back.
Hmm.
That's a crazy return.
Yeah.
So they tried to make a sequel. It didn't really come through.
Oh.
In '79, they tried to make a remake. Never came to fruition. 1980s, they tried to do another remake. Didn't ever come to fruition. In 1993, they actually did remake it, though. Apparently, there's a 1993 Attack of the 50-Foot Woman we're going to have to talk about at some point.
Oh.
Um, apparently, there's a parody made in 1995 called Attack of the 60-Foot Centerfold. Oh, and I guess we should also talk about the fact that this movie inspired a character from Monsters vs. Aliens.
Oh my god,
Ginormic villain.
yes.
Yeah. This is the
Oh.
inspiration for that character.
That makes a whole lot of sense.
Roger Corman made a 3D film called Attack of the 50-Foot Cheerleader. Oh god. And then there's a bunch of references in pop culture. This one I guess for some reason kind of sticks in people's minds. I think it's maybe
Mhm.
honestly, I don't know for sure, but it feels to me like it's the poster that does it a little bit. The poster is what sticks in people's mind because that poster is iconic of the woman standing over the highway. It is like
Yeah.
it really is an evocative image of like an era of Hollywood sleaze. Even though I don't think this movie really is sleazy, really.
Mhm.
But the poster like evokes that image in your mind, right?
Yeah. And, like, I've never seen this movie before,
Mm-hmm.
and I've I've had limited exposure to older films, like, yeah,
From
we
this
have a local
podcast.
yeah, like, we have a local theater here in my town that does occasionally show, like, old films, but, like, other than that, my exposure is mainly through you,
Mm-hmm.
and even so, I feel like Attack of the 50-Foot Woman is one that I knew about without having ever seen it. Like, I
Hmm.
have definitely seen that poster before, and I guess that's just a testament to the impression that this movie made on, like, the public view, I guess.
Yeah. It's interesting because yeah, this film like we said, it doesn't have any. Well, okay, I wouldn't say it doesn't have any sleaze.
Mhm.
The outfit that she's wearing when she becomes giant, it makes sense in the context of the movie. It is
Yeah.
made of like it's made of the curtains that are in her bed, and they just like applied them as an emergency measure when she became giant. But they are also very skimpy, and one of them's a
Yeah.
skirt, like a tiny little skirt you can look up. So, like, and it's exactly the one you see in the poster. That's the one accurate part of the poster. In fact, like, it's been a while since I've seen this movie, and I legitimately thought that completely forgot like the main plot of the like, how the plot works out, and I thought that Honey was the one that was going to turn into the 50-foot woman because she looks more like the person on the poster.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've seen the poster like way more often more recently than I have actually seen the movie. um, and considering that the way Honey is like the actress who plays Honey is treated in Attack of the Giant Leeches, we have seen that things could be a lot sleazier
Mm-hmm.
than they are in this movie. Just like from her own filmography, the the way she's treated in that movie is insane comparatively. So like here we are with like a famous like pinup movie poster, but the movie is kind of like not only is it not really sleazy, it is also like a story about a manipulative asshole man fucking around with a woman that he just wants the money
Mm-hmm.
from. And then they also
Yeah.
had to add the manipulative woman who makes him worse. She's literally the fucking Tumblr user looking at a evil villain and going, I could make him worse.
Yeah. 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 But yeah, it's kind of interesting how, and like this is common for a lot of kaiju movies where like the main draw is the kaiju, but like the kaiju only has like 10% of the screen time or whatever.
And you know what? It's always the good ones where that's the case.
Yeah.
Almost always, I have to
And
say.
like that's, yeah, that's basically the case for this movie as well. Like the iconic poster, this giant woman standing over a car overpass which doesn't even exist in the movie. And then in the movie itself, it's like that scene only happens at the very end.
Yeah, yeah. And all the rampage she does is tear the roof off the building, kill Honey by accident, and then kill Harry mostly on purpose. She doesn't actually kill him on purpose. She just like she moves near a transformer, like not like she didn't move near Optimus Prime, but like one of the giant electric towers, and the transformer box on that. And then the sheriff shoots the transformer box while he's trying to shoot her because she's immune to guns because she's giant now, which is how giant things work.
Hmm.
And then just like the transformer explodes and she falls to the ground, and apparently she's dead, and so is
Hmm.
Harry. I guess they just get electrocuted from the transformer exploding or something. I don't know. It's not exactly clear. It's very
Yeah.
sudden.
Um, Also something that just kind of occurred to me is the the scene where she picks up Harry is kind of a go away pop-up. It's kind of a reversal of the scene we see in King Kong where like where King Kong picks up the woman. It's
Mm,
like kind of we're at the opposite end of the spectrum now where now it's like, you know, the shoe's on the other foot. Um,
mm-hmm.
Also they make an interesting line at the very end, like literally the last line of the movie that's like I don't remember what it is word for word, but like paraphrasing, it's like, well, she has Harry now,
She
like she
finally has
has
Harry
him.
all to herself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, that was kind of a general, like, it is a desire that she stated at least once during the movie, maybe twice, um, that, like, she would have Harry all to herself,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of a poetic end, but I don't know. It feels like it's missing a little something.
Yeah. Uh, It does, and it's because it kind of has this King Kong ending, right?
Mhm.
It is in a way kind of the, you know how we talk about like how King Kong is not actually a giant monkey, but is instead a representation of white people's fears of black and indigenous men coming for them.
Mhm.
Um, this is like that, but for women in a way.
Yeah.
Horrible men will see divine punishment by woman. I don't know. It's because like it's really easy to read it that way, but like the rest of the movie doesn't really, because it's only Harry. She doesn't want to hurt anyone else. Not really. She bats
Yeah.
the deputy aside. She doesn't even intend to kill Honey. I don't think she just does it by accident because she's big.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell
I
though. It's
mean,
kind of hard because she doesn't say anything anymore. She just keeps talking about Harry.
yeah, that like it was very unclear to me if it was intentional or not. Like the case can very easily be made that yeah, it was completely an accident. She was tearing off the roof and some debris fell on Honey. But like I also know just from her character that she has resentment towards Honey. Most of her resentment is towards Harry.
Yeah,
Um but, like, there is still that little bit of resentment, like, and, she's going on a rampage, so I kind of wouldn't put it past her, at least in those circumstances, to just kinda like, "You know what? I have all the power now. I'm gonna murder my husband's lover."
yeah, yeah. And it is kind of hard to tell with what we actually see in the movie.
Yeah. I do think, like, realistically, it probably is the former, just like, it was
Yeah.
just sort of an accidental debris fell, she died, but, like, yeah, it could be interpreted either way.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things you kind of have to just interpret because they leave it up to you, right?
Yeah.
Um, there's some things you have to interpret that they like. There's a little bit of cognitive dissonance in the movie occasionally, where like what's happening on screen is not exactly what you're being told is happening.
Mhm.
I think one big example of this is when at the beginning of the movie when Nancy is like runs away and tells everyone about the alien that was coming after her. She tells them that the alien was after her, was grabbing at her neck, and was after her diamond.
Mhm.
And it's like, because of the way the props work, you really couldn't see that at all.
Yeah.
It's like a very big limitation of the giant prosthetic hand. So there's a lot left up to your imagination to make the jump on.
Mhm.
But you're also doing that with like some of the in story aspects as well, like what's going on between Nancy and the butler, who we haven't really talked about yet. There's
Yeah.
just like a butler who is like, she's known this butler since childhood. The butler like looks after her like a dog. Like it's kind of crazy how like duty bound and protective he is.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's very reminiscent of a lot of butlers in media in general of like kind of their
He's Belvedere.
main their main character trait is that they are loyal
The main
to
character trait is that they are butler.
yeah. Um and like yeah, it's a really interesting relationship those two have where like yeah, the butler is making sure to look out for her. He very clearly cares about her way more than he cares about Harry,
Oh
and,
yeah, he
like
wants Harry dead in the ditch.
Yeah, like, he sees how bad Harry is for Nancy, and he kinda just puts up with it because, like,
He can't say no to her.
Nancy. Yeah. So, like,
And they have a really cool fight scene, Harry and the butler.
yeah, that
When
was a
Harry
fun
comes
fight
back
scene.
after abandoning her to the alien, and they just have a fight scene because Butler assumes he killed her.
Yeah, and, like, again,
Fair
like,
assumption.
the
Really well
evidence
constructed.
was really, yeah, like, he went out in the desert with
Hmm.
her and no one else and brought a gun and came back and she wasn't there. It's
Yeah,
like,
like there's a reason why as soon as he comes back, he's like, I gotta fucking get out of here.
yeah.
I gotta get the hell out of here. He goes over to Honey. He's like, "We're getting out of here." And then that's when they run into the sheriff on their way back, and the very angry night clerk. Holy moly!
Yeah.
For a bit character, she really makes a mark.
Um, but yeah, so like back to the butler, he, you know, the dichotomy between the butler and Harry
Hmm.
is interesting to me because Harry, like, at this, like, on one hand, he doesn't care about Nancy. He's just in their relationship for the money and, like, he wants to be rid of her.
Yeah.
Um, but on the other hand, I can definitely see that there's some degree of jealousy that he has towards the butler, like, and it's kind of made a little bit more apparent when he makes the, like, there's a scene where she's asking him. Oh, she's like Nancy's kind of like interrogating Harry about, like, the night he left her,
Hmm.
where, like, oh, I know where you stayed the night. And he's like, how'd you know where I stayed the night? And the screen just, like, switches over to the butler, and it's like, that was a really cool, like, that was a neat little shot, by the way.
Yeah.
Um, and, like, a good use of cinematography to add to the
Hmm.
story.
Yeah.
Um, and then that's the moment when he realizes, and so he's like, "You know what? I'm leaving." And she's like, "Where are you going?" He's like, "Ask him."
Yeah. Um, it is, yeah. It's really interesting. This, like, the 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 characters actually get a large chance to be like to get known by the audience. So you actually get to dig into these weird little quirks of all of them.
Yeah.
I think another thing this movie does effectively is in the beginning it actually creates a lot of tension as to whether or not the alien actually exists or if it's just Nancy imagining it.
Mhm.
Like they are actually, like, usually that just kind of washes over you, like in Them or something like that, where it's just like, no, but there's obviously something there. This is a movie titled The 50-Foot Woman. The poster has a giant woman on it, and it's like, as you watch the beginning of the movie, you end up thinking like, okay, is there actually a 50-foot woman in this, or is she just gonna imagine the whole thing? Right?
Yeah.
Is she going to imagine having turned into a 50-foot woman, or and then of course they're out there with Harry long enough that eventually they do find it. I think it's more
Yeah,
effective
like,
at that bait and switch than most movies that literally have the title be the name of the monster that's going to show up.
yeah. And, like, that first arc of the movie, that first act, where basically it's just her that knows about the alien and, like, everyone else thinks she's crazy.
Yeah,
Um,
where it's kind of just a drama instead of a sci-fi movie.
yeah, like, that first act, like, you can totally see, like, in the way that Harry treats her and acts towards her over her insistence that she found like this giant man and this satellite UFO thing. And she's like, I'm gonna go out into the desert to find it. And he goes along with it, partly to satisfy her, but mostly like, part of it's just like this is what's expected of him, I guess, being her husband, and like she wants him to support her.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but most of all to him, I think what the driving factor of like actually going out with her was the fact that she states like, she's like, I know it's out there for certain. I know it is. And he's like, but what if it isn't? And
Mm-hmm.
she's like, then I guess I'm insane and I belong in an asylum. And
Which is exactly what he
like,
wants to happen.
yeah, that's 100% what he wants, and he's like, "Okay, let's go out and look for this non-existent giant," and, like,
And he just got unlucky enough to find it.
yeah, like, and there were several moments, like, you could feel the tension in that scene when they were out driving in the desert, and, like, she's looking all around, and he's like, "Have you seen anything?" She's like, "Keep going."
And he's getting more
Um,
frustrated as he's just like, okay, now I'm backtracking to go behind these hills in the middle of the
yeah.
desert. As another one of these kaiju films that take place in the middle of the desert in a little tiny town.
Yeah, and, like, he continues to humor her because, like, like, "Let's get this over with, we'll not find the monster, and she'll commit herself so I can have all her money." Um,
And he was like, oh, she's getting abducted by an alien. I'm out of here.
yeah, and, like, it was the scene where he abandons her is, like, I could tell, like, a few things were going through his head, like, first and
He
foremost
is
was
fucking
probably just
terrified of that monster, that
general,
alien.
like, the adrenaline of, "I need to get the hell out of here."
And he's also
Um,
he doesn't care about her at all, so he's not gonna help her. And his gun didn't work, so
yeah,
what's he gonna do about it?
and then I guess, like, on the way, like, probably as he was leaving her behind, he's like, "Okay, well, this is too, like, to some extent this works out, but also I gotta get the hell out of town with my girlfriend because I know exactly what this looks like."
Yeah. So, but he has to get his stuff from her house first. So he gets into a fist fight with the butler too.
Yeah.
And that would be his downfall because the butler is quick on the
Yep.
draw on the telephone.
Ah, it's such a good
It's
movie.
like it's really well constructed, honestly. Like plot wise, it is really well constructed, and I think it effectively, gets across these auras of dread and suspense and such.
Mhm. So, like, the version we watched was, like, some guy who's really into, like,
Easton is from Easton Community Access Television, whatever the fuck that is. It does not look
yeah.
like it's actually public television, but I guess it is. But man, this guy loves his computer graphics from the early 2000s. I guess probably late 2000s, but hoy hoy
Yeah.
hoy.
So that's the version we watched, and at the like before the movie even starts, he gives like a little intro, and he's like, "And here's how the movie was rated on Google, and it rated fairly well, like 80 something percent. And then here's how it was on Rotten Tomatoes, and the audience did not like this one." And so I'm like, okay, going into this, okay, looking at hearing those ratings, I have low expectations. This is probably just gonna be like a fun little laugh at the shitty effects and like the bad writing. But I was captivated by this movie. It was so good.
As usual, audiences don't actually know anything.
True.
I found it out. Easton is in Massachusetts, halfway between Boston and Providence.
Huh.
And it's Eastern Community Access Television is just a television station of a public television station in that region. Um, and apparently this guy did his little like just I cannot stress enough that this is not like a Sven Gulli situation where it comes back in and there's jokes here and there. No, all it was like a little beginning, an opener, a very dry opener with like computer graphics and green screen effects, a very dry ending with computer graphics and green screen effects, and then two instances of like a black and white tiger walking across the screen, like a CGI tiger,
Yeah.
for some reason. I don't know why. Just like it's
That
just
was weird,
it
yeah.
is literally like just a stock animation he has for some reason that he uses for some reason. I cannot describe it better than that. It is just like some stock asset tiger walking across the screen. Stock asset CGI tiger walking across the screen. It happens in the credits and then at the end of the movie. Like it's just like it bookends it.
Mhm.
Very strange, but it was the highest quality version of the film I could find. So
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty good quality.
yeah, no, it was fine. It was a perfectly serviceable version of the film, and it just had a weird opening and beginning. Extra, very funny. What do you think of the music of the movie?
I think it was pretty good.
I like a lot of other American. Like I haven't asked about the music in a while because I guess like for the Mysterians, where we kind of brought it up naturally instead of having to ask about it. Um, because like a lot of the American sci-fi films we've been watching kind of just have generic stock soundtracks. I mean, but this one, I don't know if it's stock or not, but it definitely fits better. I like the music in this one a
Yeah.
lot more than a lot of the standard stuff we've been listening to.
Yeah, the music in this one really stood out. I don't think it was quite as up there as, like,
I mean, it's no Akira Ifukube, of course.
yeah. Um, but it definitely stood out above most of the other American films we've seen.
Yeah. Yep. That's all I got to say about it. It's just good. It fits
Mhm.
it fits like it helps with that tension building that this film is pretty good at. The
Mhm.
fact that it stood out to me at all, I think, is says a lot about it. Anything else on this one?
Um, I have 2 more thoughts to say on the movie.
Cool.
Um, Number 1, the opening. I like to criticize a lot about when a movie opens up with a bunch of just narration
Mm-hmm.
or, like, voiceover. This time, I think it actually really works. Like, I was gearing myself up to be like, "Oh ho, this movie did another just like, it's doing a voiceover," and this time it's not even like, it's just showing us the guy talking and, it's not even showing us what actually happened that he's talking about. But it actually works.
Yeah, because he's doing it as a news report as this satellite comes down. Although he's calling it a meteor at the time.
Yeah.
And he's like talking about it, and then as he's talking about it, it starts to rapidly cut between him talking about it and the thing happening, and that's the
Mhm.
satellite coming down and making Nancy freak the fuck out. Which she like freaks the fuck out way before I feel like it's reasonable to. She just starts going screaming,
Yeah.
like what? And then she loses control of her car because it turns off your car for some reason. The radiation
Uh-huh.
from it, I guess. I don't know. Um, she's just screaming, screaming, screaming. It's crazy.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, no, like, that opening, it really puts you right into the action. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
no like long-winded buildup of boring backstory. It's like, oh yeah, that by the way, there's been some kind of mysterious sightings going on, and oh, here we go. It's supposed to be over us right now, and it jumps right into the action,
Mm-hmm.
which is really cool and a neat way of doing that kind of narration that American movies love to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that guy comes back into the picture too, because he's just like a news announcer, and he shows up
Yeah.
later when when news of Nancy's stuff goes around town, and he's like extremely judgmental. It's crazy. He's like
Yeah,
super
like
condescending and judgmental about her. And like that's what
it
made me really think like, oh, is she hallucinating this? Because this is like
yeah,
so targeted and has like so much information that how the fuck does he have that?
and it's very much like honestly, that scene kinda really solidified that this movie is still a little bit misogynistic.
Yeah. But like on the other hand, maybe it's criticizing that kind of misogynism. I don't know. It's hard
Yeah,
because
it's
he's like
it is
it
hard to
kind of
say,
puts
yeah.
her into a spiral that leads to bad things happening again.
Yeah, good
I don't know.
point.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say exactly where the film lands on that kind of thing. Um,
Mhm. So, okay, yeah, that was one point I had. Another thing that I just wanted to address is going back to the effects.
mhm.
When Nancy eventually does pick up Harry, she's literally just picking up a doll.
Yeah.
Like, it is very clearly and visibly a doll. There is no disguising it. It's just
It's pretty
and then
good.
she gives him uppies. She holds him
Uppies.
high up in the air and
Zaps
gives
him.
yeah.
And zaps him. um all right, I think my last thing is I've got some quotes. We love some
Yeah.
quotes. One of them is uh my husband. My gigolo. That's what you are. Whoa, okay. Alrighty. Um oh right, there was okay, this isn't a quote, but there was one scene where he puts her to bed after she's like had this traumatic experience, and this is where he steals the diamond. Um
Mhm.
but like they're very careful to not imply that they sleep in the same bed.
Yeah.
As was the style of the time on TV and movies. Um oh god, okay, here's like I think this is the fucking weirdest quote of the movie. They find the footprint of the giant man, and the sheriff and the deputy do. Uh and they're like, "What the heck is that?" And I think the deputy specifically says something to that effect. And then the sheriff says, "Whatever it wasn't made by a Japanese gardener."
Yeah.
Like, huh? I think they're referring to like rock gardens,
Yeah, I
but
don't
like,
know. Uh,
huh?
I mean,
It's a giant
like
footprint. Why would you go to that? That's your first response.
like, my thought the direction that came from is probably, like there's probably some stereotype about, like
The rock gardener.
well, just about, like, gardeners in general for high class people being foreigners, like,
Yeah, I don't know.
maybe there was something along those
I
lines.
don't know.
But it was really, like,
One of those
the
lines that just
most
kind of sucker punches you.
it came so far out of left field.
um okay, here's another one that kind of fucking socks you in the face and really calls into question whether this movie is feminist or not feminist. Um and this is like so the psychologist that has known her for a long time brings in a specialist to deal with her after she becomes giant, and then they chain her up to make sure she doesn't go anywhere, but also so that they can wench up her arm to like give her shots and shit. Um but this doctor that he brings over, he's like lamenting like, "Ah, God, what could I have done better or whatever." And the guy's like, I don't know if you could have done anything better, because when women reach the age of maturity, Mother Nature sometimes overworks their frustrations. And you're like, oh God. And then he goes on, like the middle-aged men who look at the girl of the age of 20. So he's like, he's not exactly, he's kind of being sexist, but he's also being like, well, everyone kind of gets crazy when they get middle-aged also.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what the fuck is you, where are you landing on here? I don't know. He's kind of like, when women get older, they get hysterical. And it's like, oh, that's bad. And he's like, but also middle-aged men will just become perverts.
Yeah.
And you're like, like we'll start to get a midlife crisis and want to cheat. It's like, huh. I guess it's not exactly feminist, but at least it's not. It's like it kind of evens it a little bit.
Mm.
I don't know. I really don't know what to think of this film in sometimes. We already talked about the "I got eyes, I can see" line and the "I can't shoot a lady" line. But one fun one that we didn't really talk about yet is that when Nancy is going after Harry to pick him up, and Honey's already dead by this point. He starts shouting, "Kill Honey, not me." It's like, well, one, she's already dead, but the two, fuck you,
Yeah.
piece of shit. And that's how she got Harry all to herself. Oh yeah, he does actually. There is one other sleazy part of this film. Harry does actually undress Nancy on screen, not fully.
Ah.
He takes off her shoes and her stockings and her overcoat dress part
Oh
thing, but leaves her
yeah.
underdress on as like a nightingale.
Yeah, he does do that.
It's nightingale, not nightingale. What am I doing? Nightgown. Yeah. So there's that was the other sleazy part of the movie. It was like just having like I wrote in my notes, normal to us, sleazy to them. You know.
Yeah, maybe that's part of why I didn't really think twice about him. Just like, oh yeah, he's just taking her stockings off,
Because like,
whatever. But
who gives a
like
shit now?
in the 50s is like, whoa, hello.
If she didn't get her tits out, it wouldn't. If she doesn't get her tits out, it doesn't matter now. But
Yeah.
back then, I can see her ankles. Wow. But no, yeah, it was definitely like just a man undressing a woman like that's intoxicated and in a fugue state from delirium, anything from the seeing a
Yeah.
fucking satellite, UFO shit. Yeah, no, I definitely think that was supposed to be like a kind of fan service scene,
Mm-hmm.
but nothing super strong here. We will see scenes. We saw a naked woman in a bathtub in the Mysterians, right?
Yeah.
That was a naked woman, and that was in Japan too. But we will see things like this again. Not like anything extraordinary. And I think that's all I got this time around.
Yep, I'm about wrapped up too.
Oh, I guess one little thing. Acme reference. There was they had Acme Corporation in here.
Oh yeah, true.
Acme's the ones who brought in the chains to chain her up.
And the elephant syringe.
Yeah, the elephant syringe to shoot her up. We love a good Acme reference. All right. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed. You can find us at thempodian and at any podcast app of your choosing. That's where you can send your friends to when you recommend them this podcast. Recommending a podcast is the best way to make a podcast spread and to make sure it succeeds and does not go away. Haru, where can people find you?
I am Haru Hayes. I'm a puppy girl VTuber. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Haru Hayes. And you can find me on Blue Sky at haru.vspire.live. And yeah, those are the main two places that I exist. I also exist on Discord. And I do have a YouTube channel. that I
That's
don't
true.
use very much.
That's very true. And I am Vampire Ian, vampire VTuber and card game extraordinaire. You can find me at Vampire Ian generally everywhere. I've got a ton of YouTube channels. It's getting too many to say at this point. But you can find my website, vampireian.neocities.org, and that'll get you everywhere you need to go. Just go to the links page, and it has every link. Isn't that convenient? All right, Haru, are you ready to say goodbye to the 50-foot woman, Nancy?
Almost. Although before we go, do we want to tell our listeners what our next movie is going to be?
Oh yeah, that is something we've been forgetting to do every single episode for the past several times because we haven't done these like as consecutively as we would have liked to have done. Next time we are watching The H-Man. We're going back to Japan for an Ishiro Honda movie that is not, I don't think, actually includes giant monsters, but certainly strange creatures. And it's also Ishiro Honda's oeuvre, so it's close enough for us. So yeah, next time, 1958's The H-Man. All right, now we can say goodbye to Nancy. Sayonara, Nancy.
Sayonara, Nancy.
And good riddance, Harry.